Lord Krishna is very sweet. Everyone likes to hear, at least those who are devotees like to hear about the sweetness of Krishna. But in this chapter of Bhagavad Gita in particular, Lord Krishna speaks very strongly, very severely about the condition of the demons. Demons are not sweet. Just so that we can understand what is the proper position, Lord Krishna describes the position of the demons. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. There are standard rules for human behavior which are given in the Shastras. This is not so much concerned with, this is concerned with normal social behavior. But those who have no faith in Shastra, they don't follow all these things. Nowadays there's a common philosophy that there's no difference between right and wrong. There's no right, there's no wrong. Whatever you feel like, it's all okay. Or that right and wrong is relative. It's to be judged by the individual. If you think something is right, it's right for you. This is a demoniac way of thinking. Or there is, in economics, there's this, not this idea, what is good is that which is good for the greatest benefit of human society. So if we take, that sounds like a good philosophy, doesn't it? Isn't that a good idea? What is the definition of good? That which is best for human society. Would everyone agree that that's a good definition of what is good? Anyone disagree with that?
I agree.
They all agree. But then we have to know what is actually good. Just like it was considered that there's too many people in India, so having many children is not good. So abortion is good. Now according to Shastra, abortion is highly sinful. But in modern India, no one cares for that. So it's true that what is good for the human society, that is a definition of good. What is beneficial for human society. But we should know that good is ultimately judged by Krishna, not by us. And that if we engage in illicit sex and abortion, all these things are very sinful and they will bring sinful reaction. At the present time, they think that it's very good for the development of the nation that we should just forcibly move people off their land and kill them if they don't agree. This is going on in India. We have to build a dam, so move people off, or we have to build a factory, so move people, if they don't agree, kill them. That's going on in India. It's all in the name of national development. But this is development of lust and greed, not development of higher consciousness. And actually factories, that's not for civilized people. Prabhupada said factory is a dungeon for demons. And he said in another place he said factory is another name for hell. So what is right and what is wrong? Who will say? Krishna will say. Even in performing bhakti, there are so many things we have to know how to do properly. There are many details which we should gradually learn. Traditionally in India, people were raised from childhood to know these things. But now there is the demoniac civilization in India and people have forgotten their culture. So practically all the things we have to teach to people coming to bhakti, practically the same as in the West nowadays. You see nowadays the men, they don't know how to wear a dhoti, the women don't know how to wear a sari, many of them. And the women, they're married and they don't know how to cook anything. So it's just like Prabhupada had to teach everything to the devotees. So similarly in India, that's going on. Gradually all the basic points of Indian culture are being lost. At least up till recently, I mean everyone, they used to bathe on rising in the morning. But I think that's going now also. Maybe probably in Bangalore in the winter. I doubt if everyone, when they get up as late as they can in the morning, they don't take bath. I don't think so. Because they've become advanced. Rascals, demons. Advanced means rascal. Of course, advanced means advanced devotee. That's very good. But what they think is advancement, it means they're running quicker on the road to hell. So all the things we have to teach. Srila Prabhupada, when he first introduced deity worship in the West, it was very, very simple. There was no dressing of deities. There's not even any fixed pujari. Just they would, during the kirtan, they would pass a plate around with a lamp on it, and they would individually, each devotee would pass it around. In North India many people do arati like that, they just pass it around. So one of the devotees asked, well, is there anything more to learn about how to worship deities? The Prabhupada said, there's so much more, but if I told you, you would faint. So gradually he introduced all these things, and he was constantly trying to teach his disciple. Although sometimes he used to quote a Bengali saying, Koila dhuleo moila jabena, that even if you wash coal, it won't get clean. Even if you wash coal, you can never get it clean. Do you have a saying like that in Tamil? There are so many sayings in Tamil. Anything like that? I saw a book once, a big book, so many Tamil sayings from this. So there are many things to be learned in devotional service also. So gradually devotees have to learn all these things. One problem is that sometimes people, they start to do things and then everyone thinks it's right, actually it's wrong, and then they all do it and it becomes a wrong parampara. Just like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told the story of the cat at the wedding. That they'd arranged the wedding, everything for the yajna, everything was arranged by the girl's mother. And then the mother saw that toward the yajna kund that was arranged, one cat was walking there. So she told the servant that, put that cat under a basket so it doesn't cause any disturbance. So they were all very busy and they forgot about the cat, and the cat remained there throughout the whole wedding. So some years later, the girl who was married on that day was arranging the wedding of her daughter. Some years later, the girl who was getting married on that day was arranging the wedding of her own daughter. So she arranged all the yajna kund, everything, and she said, bring one cat and put it under a basket. It has to be 10 paces away from the yajna kund in the southwest corner. And people asked, why? He said, it's our family tradition. My mother did this, and I suppose that all our forefathers did this. So it became a parampara of foolishness. So it's good to know what is the right thing to do and not the right thing to do. Therefore, apart from the books of philosophy, we also have practical guidebooks. Most of the books we have, they describe what we should do. Basically what we should do, we should serve Krishna. And how to serve Krishna, we have guidebooks just like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, gives many rules and regulations. And there are also supposed to be devotees who know all these things and show us and tell us, just so that we can do everything nicely in Krishna's service. Just like in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, for instance, it's stated that one should not show one's back to the deity. So our Satyanarayan here may wonder why I stopped him from turning his back to the deity, because you're not supposed to. No, you don't have to bang your head against this as a prayaschita. It's become quite common in our ISKCON that devotees do that, but it's against the teachings of Shastra. So someone has to tell these things and emphasize these things also. There are many more things I could say, but if I say, you would faint. So maybe gradually I'll say some of it. I'm also writing a book in detail of all these things. One specific cat in the basket that is in ISKCON Vellore is in the Tulsi Arati singing Nayane Haribo, or it should be Haribo. Haribo means I will see. Haribo means I will steal. Maybe they think it's Haribo or something, but Nayane Haribo Sada. So I may think, well, it's just a small thing, but we should try to do everything as our acharyas have given us for the pleasure of Krishna. It doesn't mean you're a demon if you sing it the wrong way. But like I say, we should think that if we can sing it the right way, then why sing it the wrong way? I was also mentioning the other day that it's quite widespread that devotees sing Narasinghamadhim Sharanam Prapaje. Well, actually the Shastric, what's written, you'll find, is Nrishinghamadhim. So Narasimha is just another way of saying Nrishingha. Because it's written in this particular context, it's written in Shastra, Nrsinghamadim, then we shouldn't change that. So that's where the demons are wrong. They don't care for what these scriptures say. They just do whatever they like. Or Prabhupada writes here that Manu is the law book of the Hindu law. But nowadays the laws of India are based just on whatever people think, just according to their own speculation. Lord Krishna gives 3 areas in which people, they don't know what is right and what is wrong. Nashocham, I was saying about that, people, they don't take bath regularly. Even after passing stool, people don't take bath. After passing urine, many times people, they don't even wash their hands. Very unclean. In modern life, there's the men and women are both working. So during their monthly period, they should be resting away from everybody, but they don't. They come out and they do everything. So that's actually very unclean, because the whole body is giving out toxins. But modern people, they don't know about these things and they don't care. So internal cleanliness is affected by chanting the names of Krishna and hearing about Krishna. Shindatang swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtanaha hridyantasto bhadrani vidhunoti suhrit satam. By regularly hearing about Krishna, Shinvatang, that is a very pious activity. And all the dirty things within the heart are cleaned by Krishna himself to one who is very carefully hearing regularly about him. And chanting the holy names, as Prabhupada has mentioned here in the purport, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And then external cleanliness, that is also important. That also affects our consciousness. If you live in a room which is full of cobwebs and dust and dirt, then your consciousness is automatically going to be dragged down. So regular bathing, washing clothes, cleaning the house. Of course, now the Tamil New Year is coming up. The Western New Year is almost upon us, and then after that is the Tamil New Year. And in the Tamil New Year, there's complete house cleaning. But it's not supposed to be only once a year. One should keep the house clean regularly. So all these things, they help to keep, if the outside is clean, then inside will be clean also. And the next point, na shocham na picha charaha achar. The word is given achar. So this means behavior. The word achar is often used to mean, you could say, religious behavior. It means performing what we would call religious activity. Just like it used to be a normal thing that pretty much every Hindu would rise early in the morning and bathe, take bath, and then they would do puja or go to a temple and see the arati or do japa or dhyanam or study shastra or some activity like it. Gradually it came down to just quickly waving some agarbatti at some pictures, and now many people don't even do that. It's the acharam is or Shastra Adhyayanam is placed by the reading the Kali Yuga Purana. In other words, the newspaper. Just Prabhupada said about the newspaper, that's just all what the demons are saying and doing, that's all. In Bhagavad Gita we have Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. And in the newspaper all what the politicians and all different rascals are saying. So, better to learn about Krishna. Then we can be fixed in truth, Satyam. Krishna is Satyam Param. He is reality. Prabhupada also said that there's the most famous magazine in the world is called Time magazine. And this India Today is like a copy of Time magazine, both in the design and the kind of mood it has, everything. It's an Indian version of Time magazine. So Prabhupada was looking at this one. They give this on the airplanes. You see this. So Prabhupada said, our devotees shouldn't read this. If you read this, you'll think that the material world is real. think that it's very important. See, I don't read the newspaper. Sometimes if it's there, I'll see it. But I don't have, none of our devotees, we have that habit. But we get to hear about all the important news of the world anyway. I learned that a certain politician in Pakistan is no longer with us. You get to hear about these things. So it's important and it's not important. The world will go on without her. There's a saying by another famous politician in the Western countries, Charles de Gaulle. You heard his name? He was one of the famous figures in the Second World War. The most famous or the most prominent French politician in the 20th century. See, and very important to France, but in Tamil Nadu no one knows, no one cares. Maybe in Pondicherry they know. So he said that the graveyards are full of indispensable men. The graveyards are full of indispensable men. Graveyards, they're full of indispensable men. Indispensable, I don't know how you say in Tamil. Or, we can't live, the world can't go on without them. They're so important. But the graveyards are full of them. In school, in history class, we learned one of the prime ministers of England, of Britain, he died saying, "My country, how I leave my country." He was thinking, without me, how will my country go on? But it went on. So the person we really need to know about is Krishna. So many big heroes come and go. There are so many great sports heroes, and now they're forgotten. You see, now there's so many film stars forgotten. There are so many imitation Bhagavans. It's getting really too much. Isn't it? When you come in, you see the picture of some Paramahamsa and some art of living guy, and then there's the local guy, and then there's Om Shakti. There's so many, so many billboards. So we don't care about all these little rats. We stick to the real Bhagavan. You can make a big billboard, but it's just advertising a big billboard for a little rat, that's all. Real Bhagavan is Krishna, original, best, unchanging. And all these little rats will make some noise for a little time, and then actually they'll take bodies as rats. That's not my blessing or curse, it's just the laws of nature work like that. So, but the people who are demoniac, they're not interested in the truth. Why are so many people attracted to these little rats? Because they're not interested in the truth. It's this God business, it's actually like a business nowadays. I mean, this art of living fellow, he's worked out the art of how he lives very richly because he charges so much money if you don't have anything to do with it. And this new so-called Paramahamsa, no one cared about him, and just by advertisement he's become a big little rat. So just if you advertise and people think, oh, very important. They're not interested in what is reality, what is truth. So we're distributing these books so that people can have a clear idea what is reality. Long, long ago, there was Krishna. Koto Chaturanana. What is that? There's Vidyapati, he says. Koto Chaturanana Mari Mari Jauto. That so many Brahmas have come and gone. Brahma, his life, we can hardly imagine how long it is. So many have come and gone. Krishna is always there. He is Anadi, there is no origin of him. So to deny Krishna or forget Krishna or to be attracted to anything else but Krishna is a symptom of the demoniac nature. I was just reading today, Prabhupada was saying that in this material world, pretty much everyone is demoniac. Either 50% or 70%, but everyone partakes of the demoniac nature. If we say someone is very pious, maybe it means he's only 20% demoniac. But actual piety means to surrender to Krishna. But Prabhupada was saying about the demons, they won't surrender. They don't mind, okay, I'll go to hell, but I won't surrender to Krishna. They've taken a very serious vow never to surrender to Krishna. Vatena Krishne paratasvato vamito vibhadyeta grihavratanam adanta gobhir vishatang tamisram punah punas charvita charvananam. This is a statement by Sri Prahlad Maharaj that certain persons, they have vowed that I shall never become Krishna conscious. You can try to convince me, but I will not become Krishna. You can show me that it's logical and it makes sense, but still I won't become Krishna, because I'm determined to enjoy my senses and go to hell. And repeatedly chew the chewed. So persons who are very demoniac, they will not take to Krishna consciousness. At least in India, many people are pious in the sense that many people are inclined some way or other to chant the names of Krishna. Prabhupada said that in India, all the most pious people have come. In India, the most pious people have come, and also the biggest demons. So, although Krishna is undoubtedly very sweet and very beautiful, everything about him is very sweet. This Vallabhacharya has made one beautiful song describing everything about him is sweet. Adhuram, Nayanam, his lips, his eyes, his singing, Gitam Madhuram, Yamuna Madhura, Vichi Madhura. His Yamuna is very sweet. The waves in the Yamuna are very sweet. His gopis are very sweet. His gopas, his cowherd boys, they're also very sweet. His activities are very sweet. Madhuradhipater Akhilam Madhuram. He is the Lord of sweetness and everything about him is very sweet. But that same Krishna in his Bhagavad Gita, which is also very sweet, Gitam Madhuram, he warns us, be careful. Don't be victimized by the demoniac tendency, by which we don't distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. So, Krishna consciousness is very sweet, but it has a philosophical basis. It's tattva moolam. Its basis is their philosophy. Of course, bhakti at the higher levels, that is rasatmaka, that is more concerned with rasa. But to experience that spiritual rasa, we have to distinguish between what is mundane and what is spiritual. Therefore, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is required. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is basically concerned with bhakti ras, there's also so much philosophical understanding. So the bhakti ras that is extracted, and the sweetest of the sweetness is given in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But it's not just empty sentiment by any means. Within that, the author Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Siddhanta bolaya na chitte na karaha alash, eha hoite Krishna lage sudhira manush. He says, do not be lazy in understanding Siddhanta. Siddhanta means understanding what is the tattva and how does it all relate together. You see, even to have tattva gyan without Siddhanta, that's not enough. Just like the Mayavadis and the Vaishnavas, they both agree that there is Brahman and there is Maya. But the Mayavadis say that Brahman, that is with arupam, nirgunam, there's no form, no qualities, and of course that's based on Shastric statement. But they don't know how to properly harmonize all the Shastric statements. Shastra also states, rasovai saha, the absolute truth is full of rasa, or actually is rasa. Rasa means there must be personality. How to understand all these things in context? So when we say arupam, nirgunam, anama, no form, no qualities, no names, that means no material form, name or quality. But because for rasa there must be form, name and quality. So the Mayavadi idea is directly refuted by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, that avyaktam vyaktim apanam manyante mama buddhayaha. Persons who say that me, Krishna, the Supreme Truth, I am simply a product of the unmanifest. People who think like that are foolish, he says. So all these things have to be understood very carefully. Because many people who speak about bhakti, actually they have their understanding all wrong. I saw some time ago an English translation of Tirupavai. So, of course, I don't know the Manipravala in which it was originally written, but presumably it is a work of bhakti only. But in the English rendition, I just read a little bit, then I had to stop reading it. I thought this will be very nice to read, but I couldn't read very much. It described how the gopis, by their bhakti, they merged into Krishna. So the idea that we merge into Krishna, it's completely against bhakti. But the person who was translating this and commenting on it, they didn't have a proper idea of bhakti tattva gyan. And you see, pretty much everyone is saying that, well, we all merge eventually. Many years ago, maybe the first time I went to, it was in Vishakhapatnam, many years ago. This was maybe, I don't know, 17 years ago or something like that. So I was giving a lecture in a temple, and I was speaking against this idea that we all merge into the oneness. And one young girl came up to me afterwards and said, "Why did you speak against this all merging into one? Why did you speak against there being so many gods?" So I said, "Well, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that we all merge into one? Where's the pramanam?" He said, "Well, all the swamis say that. So many swamis are coming here and they all say that we're all one and it's all the same and we all merge and all the gods are the same. I heard so many swamis speak and you're the first one who said this, which is opposite." So that's what happens. Even if you're part, you see that Tirupavai, that's from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Sri Ramanujacharya specifically made his Sri Bhasha, his commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, to counteract the Shariraka Bhasha, the Mayavadi commentary by Shankaracharya. So in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they were so strict, their members would never even enter Shiva temple. But nowadays, you see, they're not educated in their own understanding. So unless we get good education in proper Vaishnava understanding, we're going to be misled. Because all around us, people are talking all this nonsense, that there's so many gods. So if you hear it enough, then you'll believe it's true, even though it doesn't make any sense. Just like, if they make a big advertisement that some big flabby slob is some Paramahamsa god, then people believe it because it's on a big advertisement. People think, well, everyone's saying, must be true. That's how the advertisement industry works. Again and again they show you on the TV, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. In the advertisement on the board, Coca-Cola, and Sachin Tendulkar, oh, that's Pepsi, he drinks Pepsi-Cola. Okay, Pepsi-Cola, Sachin Tendulkar, he's drinking it. Then I have to drink it too. Actually, it's rubbish. They get some water and put some sugar and some chemicals in it and sell it to you, and you're such a fool that you buy it. So like that, if enough people say that such and such is God, you think, oh, okay. There's a saying in Bengali, Dasha Chakre Bhagavana Bhut. By some plot, anyway, I'll tell the story. There was one minister of the king, his name was Bhagavan. He wasn't pretending to be Bhagavan, it was just his name. So he was the favorite of the king, so the other ministers became envious of him. So one time Bhagavan went out of station for some time, and then the ministers told the king, they made a plot amongst themselves, and they all told the king that actually Bhagavan, he went away, and while he was out of station he died. So when he came back, they told all the guards and everyone, don't let him come in the palace. So then whenever they saw him, because they're all the Brahmins, they're living together in the Agraharam, so whenever one saw him they said, oh, it's Bhagavan, it's a ghost. They all looked very afraid and they ran away. So whenever he met anyone, they said, oh, it's a ghost, and he ran away. He said, no, it's me. So what happened was that they treated him like a ghost, and he also thought, I became a ghost. So don't be fooled. We should understand from Krishna. That's why Prabhupada presented Bhagavad Gita as it is. No cheating. In Kali Yuga, everyone is cheating everyone else. One young man says to a young girl, I love you, and she thinks he loves me. And he wants to enjoy her, and he says, there's no need to get married. And she's left holding the baby, no husband. She has to do the abortion, very sinful. So, in Kali Yuga, people are less intelligent, it's easy to cheat them. So please don't be cheated. Understand that Krishna is the supreme truth, not just because I'm sick. Don't believe what I say. I am also just another rascal. But I'm not a rascal inasmuch as I follow what is in Shastra and what's given by the Acharya. In other words, don't believe me just because I say it. But I'm saying you should believe me because I say what all the Acharyas and what the Shastra say. Therefore you should believe me. And if I say anything else, don't believe me. Hare Krishna. Any question about this? How do we counteract the little rats? Distribute Prabhupada's books. Say it in my first in Tamil. People who are sincere will appreciate what is reality and what is not. In America, when Prabhupada was there was one young boy who was pretending to be Krishna. He'd come from India, and he got many followers. And he said his mother was Durga. Got a little mixed up there because Krishna's mother is not Durga. And after some time, he married his American secretary. And his mother was very upset because they're from a Brahmin family. She didn't want him to marry some lecha girl. So then he removed her from the position of Durga. Said, you're not Durga anymore. So anyway, what happened, one devotee told to Prabhupada, he said that there was some, in some public meeting, this so-called, his name was Guru Maharaj Ji, or Bal Yogeshwar. So there was one woman, I suppose she was a Christian, she was so upset with him that she came up to him with a cake covered with cream on it. And I suppose all the people thought she was bringing it to offer to give to him. But she stuck it in his face. So God was standing there with all this cream dripping on his face. So it doesn't really harm him, but it just shows what a fool he is, calling himself God, and he can't even stop someone insulting him in public. So Prabhupada said, yeah, you should do that. To all these bogus avatars, you could do something like that. Bring a bucket of payasam and pour it over their head. Horse urine would be better. Horse's urine, yeah. It's really, it's very, I mean, we're joking, but actually it's very distressing. What's most distressing is when you go in the homes of some people, they're Sri Vaishnavas, and their forefathers have all been worshipping Vishnu, and they're worshipping some Baba or some so-called avatar, and it's very, very sad. I wonder, how could this have happened in such a nice, pure sampradaya? The answer is because there's no proper teaching of what is the proper understanding. Oh, that I would say, I didn't come back to that verse again. Siddhanta Balaya Chitte Nakaraha Alosh Yaha Hoite Krishna Lage Sudhira Manosh. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, don't be lazy in understanding what is Siddhanta. Don't think, I just like the nice stories about Krishna, but I won't bother trying to understand the philosophy. Because by understanding the philosophy properly, one becomes attached to Krishna. So, in our ISKCON also, we have to learn what is the proper thing. What is proper philosophy, what is proper behavior, all these things we have to learn. So we have many things to learn. Gradually we have to introduce so many courses and like that. We should have many courses in understanding the different topics of Bhagavad Gita. At least during the summer holidays we have shloka classes for children. We need shloka classes for grown-ups also. Cooking classes, how to cook for Krishna. That goes on kind of automatically in the kitchen. We should know how to cook nicely for Krishna. All aspects. Many things to learn. The main thing is to love Krishna. But then if we love Krishna, we want to do everything nicely. Yeah, anything else? Yeah, we may have. It's not a big thing. Doesn't make them God. Maybe due to something from previous life, they may have some little powers or something like that. Well, in Christianity, there have been people who claim to be Jesus. And there are people who claim to be, they have some special vision or knowledge or something like that. One major offshoot of Christianity is the Mormon Church, in which someone called Joseph Smith, he had some realization that actually Jesus was an American. He came to America and the Americans are the chosen people. All this stuff. It's really cuckoo, as we say. I mean, cuckoo. I mean, it means really stupid. It's like someone who gets drunk or something and they talk all funny things. But it's become, a very big religion. Actually, I mean, even Christianity itself, they say Jesus is God and He died for 3 days. And God died for 3 days. And there are all different offshoots of Islam. I mean, Islam itself is divided into Shia and Sunni, and then there's Aga Khanis and Boras and Ahmadiyya and so many different groups. But in Hinduism, the people come up and call themselves God. Well, this stems from Shankaracharya's Mayavad, in which he takes the most important statement in Shastra to be Tattvamasi and interprets it to mean that you are the Supreme. So that has caused chaos in the proper understanding. And they fail to differentiate between the angsha. The Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Namai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. They fail to differentiate between the angsha of Brahma and the Purna Brahma, the full, complete, absolute truth. That's really the answer. The Mayavad is very serious damage. Generally we call, just like you were saying, as you were coming along, you turned out this Paramahamsa, Mayavadi. But they're not really anything Vadi, they're Avsarvadi, you'd say in Hindi, they're just opportunists. I mean, the Mayavadis at least, they have some kind of philosophy, even though it's all rubbish. But these modern so-called, they don't teach any philosophy, it's just you feel, it's all based on what's called hype. It means advertisement. I know, I could be a pretty good god probably. Why should all the Bhagavans be Indian? How about a Western god? I could have someone invest a few crores of rupees and we could go into business together. That someone promotes me and then they call me God and we split the profits. Probably someone will do it. Actually already someone is doing it. A few months ago, someone sent me a report from an English newspaper that an unemployed Englishman had become a Hindu goddess. That he was just unemployed and somehow he couldn't do any job. He's completely useless. And he came to India. And somehow or other, someone thought I don't know, he was in Gujarat somewhere, in Saurashtra, where the people are, you could say, very pious and religious. But they must be pretty stupid also. Well, he's from Saurashtra. He's more intelligent because he's reading Prabhupada's books. So anyway, this man, he became identified as he's non-different from the goddess in one temple. So he's dressed in a sari, and all the people are coming and praying to him. So it's better than being unemployed in England. He said, I'm very happy, everyone treats me very nice, I get good food, don't have to do any work, I think I'll stay here for the rest of my life. So there you go. If you don't have a job, you can become God instead. There's only one problem. Is that you become a rat in your next life, many lives, and you don't get love of Krishna. So better, don't be a fool, don't be a rascal, chant Hare Krishna. And read Bhagavad Gita as it is. And turn your cell phone off when you come to the temple. You should start a system. 50 rupees fine. If any cell phone goes off in the class, 50 rupees fine. It's good. You can collect some money for the temple. 500 rupees. So yours went off 3 times. Any other question? Did everyone hear in Tamil? Do you want to say it again in Tamil? You can do with your husband's permission. Preaching Krishna consciousness is most important. So women, they shouldn't go alone for distributing goods. See, in ideal society, they should just stay at home, come out to the temple, but it's an emergency situation in which the whole world is going to hell. So for preaching Krishna consciousness, you can do that. But in the name of preaching Krishna consciousness, you shouldn't neglect the family duties. Children especially have to be looked at. Elderly parents have to be looked at. So husband has to be looked at. 500 rupees. So all these things have to be balanced. Anything else?